Ever wondered why the bad people, quote unquote bad people in our societies, are the most successful people? And what do I mean by the bad people? When you look around in a typical society, you usually see this kind of people who don't even go to church, like they are a bit rough in the society. They don't even help a lot, like they just drink a lot. And I'm not saying drinking is bad. And you find these people is like they do not have like that big aspect of the humanity deep inside of them. They're like not so much friendly, they're not so much loving, they are even less friendly or such kind of a thing. And then you ask yourself, why are these people more successful in life compared to the other sets of people? For example, take a very simple example. Like, have you ever wondered yourself, why do we usually have a lot of cars parked in bars and clubs and whatever, compared to the number of cars actually parked in churches and such kind of a thing? So have you ever wondered what exactly goes on? I mean, do these guys know something that we should don't, or we don't know, or they do not know something that we usually know that usually affects us in one way or the other? Have you ever asked yourself all those kind of questions? So when you look around and ask yourself, why is this all happening? You know what? When I was a young guy, I used to ask myself that question. Why do you think, like, okay, there was a place where I used to work, and that guy used to be a very good person. He was a very wealthy individual. So I was like, okay, this guy has money. I mean, why can't he just be a little bit friendly to me, support me, when I tell him I'm gonna charge him like 5,000, why doesn't he give me like 7,000 or something of some? I mean, why is he not so good? And when you relate with these low people in the society, they're less fortunate, and then you tell them, hey, you know what, can you lend me like 2,000 because I have a problem, maybe I haven't paid my rent and something. These guys are always there to give. They tell you, hey, you know what, I may not have the 2K that you're asking for, but I have one. Can it be able to help you? And you say yes. But these rich individuals, the wealthy, the fortunate ones, you find like they do not resonate with that kind of understanding. Have you ever wondered why exactly that happens? All right. I've been trying to do my own research and actually understand what exactly transpires and what makes these individuals be the way they are. And one thing I came to realize is one simple thing: the attitude or the perception towards life. It's as simple as that. And perhaps that one may actually not be able to click with majority of the people, but I'm going to explain to you exactly what that means step by step, so that at least you understand. Perhaps you can get something that can be of help to you. But before we do that, guess what? I actually post a video each and every day. So if you don't want to miss a good video like this one and many others about ideas, how to invest, how to make money online, and that kind of things, so do this. It doesn't cost you anything, all right? Just down below there on your right, there is a button written subscribe. Hit that magical button, then hit that like button, comment down below, and guess what happens? You get to be notified by the YouTube whenever I post a new good video. As simple as that, by the way. It doesn't cost you anything, only 1 second. All right, so let's get into the business, okay? So the question is this. Now, I told you the thing that I've realized these guys usually have is the perception and the attitude. All right, you see, things are not the way we see them. Things are the way we perceive them or we view them. That's a fact. We see, we usually say this like, things are the way we see them, but not the way they are. That's a fact. The perception that you usually have about the things, that's the how you see them. All right. Perhaps a yellow fruit is not a yellow fruit. Maybe you just don't want to see it as a yellow fruit. Anyway, that's a big or another sort of a conspiracy theory and something also. So the question is this: these people in the society, you find they usually have a different attitude and perception towards life that is quite skewed or different from the majority of the people. Number one that you're supposed to understand with these people is that they understand when it comes to wealth, it's the matter of the brain, it's not the heart. Because you find the less fortunate in our society, they tend to believe like, hey, you know what? I think we should be able to kind of be loving, be all those kind of things. So when you're making matters of the finance, you're making them based on how you feel and not how you think. But when it comes to these people, at times they overlook where you tell them like, hey, you know what? I'm less fortunate. I come from I don't know how background and some kind of a thought. So help me or this, before they actually help you. Now, because what you're doing, you're poking the emotional aspect of that discussion. So before they make a decision, they usually never engage their heart. That's the first thing. Okay, they can feel, they can understand. Probably most of them, they've come from a humble background. At this particular point, they do not look at you being, less fortunate an individual and then you need to be helped. That is true. But the other truth is this. Now, what will benefit them out of them helping you or maybe out of them supporting you? It's like, I'll give you a very simple example. Say you're a wealthy individual, you have some cash, and then somebody shows up and tells you, hey, you know what? I'm X and X. I have a lot of problems. I come from a very humble background. I'm a father that my mother died, and God forbid for that. And then you realize like, you know what, I really need a help and to be supported. I graduated like 3 years ago. I've never secured a job. I really want to do this. I just got married. I have a kid. I have a wife. Like blah blah blah. I have all those kind of things. You have problems, right? That is person A. Person B tells you, I'm flan and flanny or X and X. I have qualification over this. By the way, I can do this. I have ability to do this. I have a talent on doing this and this. Actually, this is what I've achieved for the last 3 years, and this and this. And then by the time they're nearing the end of this conversation, they tell you, you know what? Am I qualified, or rather, I graduated like 3 years ago. I have not yet secured a conventional way of employment or a job, but well, guess what? That's what I've achieved as myself. And I also happen to come from a less fortunate family, but you know what? I'm still kicking, and I'm still. Now, you see what you're kicking in. You've shown the interest, you've shown the value of yourself, and the next thing that you're doing is also you're showing what you're gonna bring on board. Now, you are likely to actually get this individual. At that particular point, you may think that these individuals do not wish to help you because they do not see any value, or maybe do not understand your problem. They do, but what they do is that they go a step further and ask you, now, what am I gonna get on board after me helping you? So these individuals, you find like, you know, it is good to go to church, it's good to pray and all those kind of things. But when you kind of overlook all other aspects and you believe that only prayers will work without you working, I'm telling you, you're gonna get lost. And that's why you get manipulated and such kind of things. And you find these people, when they do, you see, prayers is mostly matters of the heart, it's a matter of the emotions, it's a matter of the spirit and such kind of things. What you're supposed to do that what deserve to be done in spiritual way, and do that what is ought to be done using the physical things of doing things and such kind of a thing. So one thing that you're supposed to understand, these guys, they have that clear understanding. They have the clear attitude when it comes. Of course, they will have the ones that are actually way far. They usually, you know, disturb the societies, you know, gets, you know, corrupt the societies, that kind of things, and enriching themselves. I'm not talking about those individuals. And that's why you find these people, the moment they acquire these things, they tend to actually believe mostly on the logical things, the explainable things, and things that you can actually go there and verifiable things, all right? And they do not love to be preached on the understanding. When I say preaching, I mean like sharing information in the understanding that, you know what, you can acquire things, that you do this, you have to believe, you have to do this, you have to do the other. For them, they usually love to go the step further. Fine, after believing, after trusting, after doing this, after having myself a good attitude, now what is required of me as a human being to apply as an effort, a physical effort for me to acquire that specific thing. So when you cannot be able to verify that, then they surely tend to believe whatever you're telling them, it's either a scam or something that cannot be able to be verified. You know what? Sometimes I used to see that people in the church and actually lifting their phones and somebody is telling them like to declare the M-Pesa message to get into. Honestly speaking, if you are the utmost idiot of the society, you have to understand that one is so much skewed and cannot be able actually be verified. So the point is this: these people who perceive to be bad in the society, you know, these guys, they actually understand the clear route that is needed for you to be actually be successful in the society. And you find these people do not actually view life the way you view them, because they have a different perception and attitude towards being rich or something of sort. For example, if you pick a very typical example, maybe let's say a young individual, and you tell them, hey, you know what, we can invest on this thing, and I can tell you within 10 to 15 years we're gonna get ourselves into millionaires. These guys be like, oh, 10 to 15 years, that's a way long time. They ask you like, what can I do with 20,000 and, you know, and flip that amount and get myself like 10 million within a month, or maybe within an year. I'm not saying it's not possible. It is very much possible when a luck hits you. But if you do not know, but because we do not know when the luck gonna hit you, if you even know exactly when the luck will hit you, we just get the 20,000, keep it in a bank, and then wait for that period of time when the luck comes, and then we can be able to flip that 20k and make a million or 10 million as you wish. But the question is this: you're supposed to understand one thing: the wealth is never an event, it's always a process. Requires time, dedication, what we call sacrifices, and discipline, consistency. All those things have to be in one basket for you to give birth to what we call the success. I always give this simple example: success is always an intersection between a luck and what we call a hardworking. Just be a hardworking in the first place, and then whenever the luck hits you, of course, you'll get you when you're prepared, and you can be able to tap it, make maximum out of it, and be able to actually grow yourself to the next level. So the point is this: these people who are perceived to be bad in the society, they understand that. See, when you incorporate discipline inside of your life, people tend to look at you as if you are an outcast, you person who does not understand the norm of the society. Because one thing that you're supposed to understand with the society is like over 85% of people tend to be average, tend to copy each other. But these people, they do their things, things differently. They understand persistency, consistency, and all other aspects of life has to be incorporated in the real life situation for them to actually go ahead and achieve that what they have been looking for. But when you approach this individual with a perception of, you want to get things fast, you don't want to get yourself dedicated, you don't want to sacrifice anything, you don't want to incorporate any discipline, then at that particular point, then these guys, you'll not be able to resonate with them, and you're gonna lose them along the way. So that is the point, and that is the fact, and that's what brings the difference between person A and B in a society. And that's why people tend to have the conclusion that the bad people tend to be successful in this life. Of course, this is within exemption of people who actually go out there, like crooked politicians who usually go there and corrupt and those kind of things. Because you know what, these people who go there and usually corrupt and do such kind of a thing is because they understood the ways of being successful in life. Now, what they have done is that they have manipulated the society, and they have used the wrong, applications for them to get themselves to where they are. So you have to differentiate all those aspects. You see, it's like, it's like you understand something. It's like these people usually hacks and do that kind of things like the cyber crimes. These people, they were taught very good skills that you can actually use and actually help the society, but you're using the skills to actually affect the society instead. That's the reality. So the point is this: with the exemption of all those people who do the corruption and all the kind of things, other guys who perceive to be bad and such kind of things, these people usually incorporate discipline. Show me a wealthy person who is not disciplined. They are very disciplined, and they usually do things that we think that they should not be doing them. Right? It's like you getting some couple of millions, and this guy doesn't even have a car, and then you're like, I don't think this guy is missing out. This guy should buy a car and do something of sort. Right? So that is the perception and the attitude that they have towards money and wealth creation. Right? You know what, guys? My name is Joseph. Post a video each and every day, and I talk about finance, money, and anything related to that. If you would like to grab my copy of my number, give me a call, because I offer services pertaining to investment, money, businesses, money management, such kind of things, only for a cup of coffee. Grab that number, give me a call, and if you'd like to get any business plan of any business that you out there that love to start, I have a lot of those copies for only $280. You give that number, text me or call me, and for now, it's a goodbye, and see you in the next one. For now,